Hello and welcome back to another Divinium demo. Today we are showing off a hilt that's been a long time coming. This is the Delorean inspired Back to the Future Mystery Saber. The outside is made out of hexagonal aircraft grade aluminum mounted on a titanium tube that we have heat stained. We have a handful of details, these Edison filaments bolted in with these brass and copper staple rivets. We have a couple globs of solder wiring everything together, and these are not just decorative, they're actually performative. The hilt itself is the ground for the LEDs. So there's our little red wire hooking it up to the positive lead on the battery. So I guess it's not technically a ground, but it connects all of these. And then the other lead goes, of course, into the chassis itself, which is super cool. Up top, we have a Stilt Custom Works V3 blade connector with a M2.5 set screw. I'm actually out of set screws. I've got some in the mail, but we won't be screwing a blade in today. We'll just be holding it in place. But the owner of this has multiple hilts with that same thread, so I'm confident he has an Allen key. On the bottom here, we have a tiny little piece of resin, and that is integral to the sound of the hilt. It seals off the speaker, which creates better clarity and resonance. We have a Smuggler's Outpost light side speaker to fit the theme better. A dark side wouldn't look quite right in my opinion. Open up the magnetic gull-wing door and you see the flux capacitor. It has laser engraved on there, shield eyes from light, just like the original. And we have an OLED screen here. Now this will play the date from Back to the Future 2, which is the internationally celebrated Back to the Future Day.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
Now I've put a yellow filter on there to turn the screen green, like the 80s kind of tech green. We have 3 buttons in here. The big one is your aux, the one on the far right is your main, and the middle one we have wired up to button 3, but it's not programmed to do anything with the FET prop file. You'll notice there are no buttons on the outside, and that's because they don't need to be. We've got gesture controls for turning it on and off. We got easy access to the aux button if we want to change fonts. We don't need buttons taking up space on the outside when we can have this sleek, aesthetic, vehicular appearance. The door is held in by these 6 magnets, and they do a fantastic job. This thing is not going to open on its own, but you got a little notch in there which you can stick your fingernail in to open it easily yourself. The hinge is these little brass hinges I got online. I did make a hinge myself originally, but I wasn't totally satisfied with the results. The hinges are held in place with these M1.4 anodized titanium screws. On the inside, you have your USB-C for charging and data. We have our aux button to go through fonts, and our next font is Gigawatt, or Gigawatt, depending where you're from, donated generously by Mountain Sabers. It was unasked for and deeply appreciated. It was very generous of him to donate this font to this build.
But I need a nuclear reaction to generate the 1.21 gigawatts of electricity. 1.21 gigawatts! 1.21 gigawatts! Please, cut! What the hell is a gigawatt?
Yeah. Awesome sound font. I prefer it to the other Delorean sound font on here, but they're both fantastic in their own right. This one has the OLED animation program to say the date from the first movie, which goes back to 1955. There is now a bigger gap in time between now and Back to the Future's release date than there is between Back to the Future's release date and them traveling back in time. So if you didn't feel old before, you do now. We also have a handful of regular lightsaber fonts on here as well.
Hello, Master.
I see you. Master Wind.
Master Seer.
Jedi Knight Dog and Gara.
Tons of different colors and details, blade styles and all.
But the only power source capable of generating 1.21 gigawatts of electricity is a bolt of lightning.
We have this awesome blade style that comes with the font. Not sure what else to say. This is probably in my top 3, definitely in my top 3 for hilts I've made from scratch. It checks all the boxes, and I struggled more with the design language on this than I have on any other hilt ever before. it was really difficult to get it to look like a saber and a car without looking like just a saber or just a car. And I think I've captured that essence. And it is actually fairly comfortable to hold with these little gaps here to fit your hand. But I don't recommend dueling with this. Like I said, these Edison filaments are on the outside. They're wired onto the hilt, which is the ground, which isn't inherently dangerous. But if you rip these or damage these, they're really difficult to replace. So display only, I would say. As always, thanks for watching, and may the force be with you.